So, I folded.
Stupid.
Yeah, I folded. I folded. So, I made a video about overcoming perfectionism, which this should be like in the beginning before I actually get to the actual video. So, I was supposed it was the video quality was supposed to be like crisp like it normally is, but for some reason it was blurry. And I didn't know that because I recorded on my phone and I was using the back of my phone to record. So let's hope this one isn't blurry, because if this one's blurry, we're gonna be fighting. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep it, the little video, I'm still gonna upload it, still gonna keep it as is, mainly because number one, I don't really feel like re-recording another video, because to be honest, when I make my videos, I'm really just channeling like from my mind, from my heart, from my soul, just speaking it out. And I feel like it's not really gonna be the same because I'm re-recording it. It's not, I mean, it's the same message, but I might say different things. But I really like what I said in this particular video that I did. One. Two, I feel like that's the point. I was literally talking about overcoming perfectionism. There we go. And my video quality is blurry. And what most people will do is they'll stop it, they'll re-record, and they'll be like, you know what, like, I'm not gonna upload this video at all. I have to re-record it, and it has to be spot on. It has to be perfect. The video quality, the captions, I have to put this meme here, that meme there. Like, no, that was the point. I feel like very ironic, but the universe just has a funny way of playing on things, so I'm gonna keep it as is. And yeah, so sorry that the video quality is blurry, but I speak facts there, okay? So don't leave me because I'm speaking facts, okay? It's the message that matters, okay? Thanks.
But coming from that pretty mouth, the truth is fitting. Cause you ain't never talking loud and you know plenty. You know what I'm talking about, cause you just get me. Yeah, you so pretty.
Welcome back to my channel. It's DivinationB, where we talk about spirituality, self-improvement, all those things. If you're really interested in that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and just join me on my journey, okay? So I just wanted to go ahead and make a really quick video about perfectionism and how like I'm currently trying to overcome perfectionism. So just a little bit of background. Growing up in the environment that I've been in, like with my mom and my dad, but especially whenever it comes to like my mom, she's always been like super rigorous with me. Like I remember whenever it came to like middle school, I was bringing in like straight A's because my mom wanted like perfection. And she wanted me to literally like have A's. If I didn't have an A, if I had a B or a B plus, my mother would be like, so why was this not an A? And I feel like that kind of triggered an insecurity within me of feeling like I'm not good enough. And I've been working through that and like kind of unraveling myself from that narrative that I'm not good enough, and like trying to build myself up and understand like, you know, I am good enough, and as long as I try my best and I'm doing everything that I can, and there's no other place that I would rather be. And as of recently, I sort of had like a talk with my mom, because my mom is currently like a manager. She's currently a manager, and at her job she was just saying how she didn't want me to fail. That's why she's kind of wanted everything to be perfect. She didn't want me to fail because in her mind, failure is like the worst thing on earth. And like I feel like that really got into me and my mentality whenever it comes to like being perfect, because it's not that I didn't want to fail, but I felt like if I did fail, I wouldn't have a way to get back up. It was really hard for me to like adapt. And currently, like what I'm doing to help overcome that is just putting myself in positions where if I do fail, it is what it is. Because I feel like failure is a big key to a lot of different things that we do try. If we try something new, of course we're gonna fail. Of course we're gonna come into like different obstacles in which it's gonna be very difficult for us to navigate, and it may be viewed as a failure, but in disguise it's really a lesson. And when you do learn the lesson and you do end up realizing like, okay, like all I have to do now moving forward if I'm ever put in this situation is to do X, Y, and Z, then now you're better equipped and you just adapt to the situation. And I feel like my mom, instead of preparing me to, I just feel like since my mom had the mentality of I don't want Bianca to fail, she failed in making me a adaptable person, if that helped. Instead of just being like, okay, this is what happened, you failed here, so what's the next step? What do you plan on doing now? And I feel like now, whenever, because I'm a Libra, but I have like fixed energy within me. So whenever I have like changes like coming in, like I freak out. And lately, what I've been doing is just telling myself, like, it's okay. Like, I'm going to adapt and I'll get through it. And I didn't get to say this, but like, I think my root chakra is like blocked or it's like severely underactive because I feel like energies in my root chakra sometimes. And that just lets me know, like, I have this tendency to feel like I can't adapt to whatever situation that I'm put in. Us as human beings, like it's either sink or swim. Like if I'm gonna be real, it's either you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. Or you'll start sinking a little bit and then you eventually start to learn how to swim and you know, you learn your lesson and you just move on to the next part. And I feel like I've just been having to remind myself that failure is okay. And I think also whenever it comes to having like a perfectionistic mindset, like we truly don't allow ourselves to rest. Because I know like sometimes I catch myself early in the morning like I have to do this, I have to do that. Oh, don't forget about this, let me write that down so I can make sure to do that. And then there are certain times where I just don't have the energy to go and execute that. And when I'm supposed to be resting, I'm not resting because all I'm thinking about is all the things that I have to do once I'm done resting. And at the end of the day, number one, that's not a life to live. And number two, you're not resting. And I feel like, again, it goes back to being adaptable and just following the flow of your body. At the end of the day, I feel like when you have a perfectionistic mindset, and this is just speaking to me personally, but me having a perfectionistic mindset is not allowing me to flow. And when I'm not in flow, I'm not able to adapt. Just like whenever it comes to like a stream, if there's a big rock in the middle, is the water just gonna stop? No, it's just gonna go around the rock and it's gonna stream and flow wherever it needs to go. And us as human beings, we need to flow like water. Like that's like our biggest teacher. All the elements are our biggest teacher because earth can really teach us when to stay grounded, when to stay resilient. Water can really teach us how to flow. Fire can teach us how to alchemize and where to find that passion. And air can just teach us like freedom and, you know, detachment and just going with the flow, but in a different way. And I feel like when you have a perfectionistic mindset, you can't flow and you take yourself out of your energy and you force yourself to do something when at the end of the day you're not supposed to force yourself. It's like, for example, if you go to the gym, right, you're exhausted, and I know you guys have that feeling too, like you go to the gym and you're like, well, at least I showed up, and you just go ahead and like rep your curls and you're not repping like pumping like how you normally do, but you just listen to your body and you're just like, whatever, I'm just gonna like follow my body and just show up with half-assed energy. With either way, it's not even half-assed because half of the battle is showing up, the other half is just going along with your body. And I feel like that's what I've been trying to reconstruct and reprogram in my mind, is that it's okay to flow, it's okay to listen to my body. Earlier today, like I had this mindset that I was gonna work out in the morning, and when I woke up I was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna rest. And I worked out before I did this video actually, and it's a lot better that I listened to my body and worked out, because I really got an amazing workout in, versus if I forced myself early in the morning to wake up and go and work out. And that's another thing that I also wanted to touch on when it comes to perfectionism, is that sometimes we have goals, we have this idea that like, this is what I want to achieve and this is what I want it to look like. But at the end of the day, when you flow with your body, you will still be able to achieve what you want. It just might look differently. How many times have you guys been like, yeah, for my New Year's resolution, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm going to get up and make my bed. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's because it's not. And then you don't even end up doing that routine, or like you do it for a week and then you end up folding. At the end of the day, it's not within your energy. Versus if you were just like naturally flowing with your body, and you, let's say you wake up at 8 a.m. naturally, and then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna start waking up earlier, so then I'm gonna try waking up at 7:30, and then I'm gonna try waking up at 7, and then if you build your way there instead of just pushing yourself into that like drastic shift. And don't get me wrong, some people can do that. Some people can just force themselves to wake up at 5 a.m. and they remain consistent in that and they never look back. But for me personally, being such a flowing person, I have to ease myself into things. I can't just throw myself into something and then be like, yeah, because I get really in my head and I could be like, man, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But at the end of the day, like, now that I'm learning to flow with my body, I've actually been able to check things off of my list. I've actually been able to achieve the things that I want to do and just flow into that. And that helps with my perfectionistic mindset, because the perfectionistic side of me is just thinking, I want to do this. I want it to look like that. This is what I have to do now. And it's not allowing any room for me to just breathe and just be a human being and just find different ways to get whatever it is on my list that I want done. Because, for example, in my head, I used to be like, yeah, like I want to work out. But it's like working out can mean so many things. It could be me going to the gym. It could be me running. It could be me swimming. It could be Pilates. And like, especially like as a woman, like as you go through like your cycles and stuff like that, there's going to be phases in your period where you're exhausted. You're not going to want to hit the gym. You're not going to want to like go like hardcore running, but you could still do Pilates, and that just works with your energy. And instead of having this perfectionistic mindset that I have to be at the gym, I have to be at the gym, I have to be at the gym, when you have like a better that's why they say like whenever it comes to goals, it's really important to like have SMART goals. Like I forgot what the acronym is, but if you have SMART goals and stuff like that, like you'll be able to achieve them and you'll feel more confident within yourself to be like, yeah, I can do this, instead of just being like, oh, I want to work out, and then you end up forcing yourself out of your energy and it doesn't stick. So yeah, those are like literally things that I've just been trying to implement, things that I'm trying to tell myself, giving myself little reminders. And the other thing, oh my gosh, this is the last thing I wanted to mention, which is super, super duper important, which is just regulating my nervous system. And regulating the nervous system could just be breathing and slowing down. Now, whenever I have like I guess it's like thoughts that come into my head. Like, let's say, for example, I'm vacuuming and I'm like, yo, I gotta hurry up because I got things to do. Slowing down, like, helps ease my nervous system a lot. Because when you do things in a rush, your body picks up of like, it goes into that fight or flight response, and the adrenaline can slowly like start to kick in. The cortisol levels can start to kick in. But in my opinion, what works for me, the best way to literally regulate my nervous system is, one, taking deep breaths. Number two, remaining hydrated. And number three, just really easing and taking things down, slowing things down. Whenever it comes to eating slow, being mindful, enjoying like every flavor that isn't within my meal and all those different things. Like I said with the vacuuming, just taking my time vacuuming, taking my time washing the dishes, just having little time for yourself, slowing down, because then you start to prove to your body like you are safe and that you are a human being at the end of the day. I feel like it's very interesting that us as human beings, we start to think like, I have to be this finished product, when at the end of the day, nobody's asking you to be. In fact, people enjoy the raw makeup and watching the entire process as it goes. I don't know if you guys remember that series that Shane Dawson made whenever it came to the palette. Yes, people bought the palette, but people loved that entire series because they got to see the entire behind the scenes of the ideas of what it was going to look like. These were the colors that they were planning on putting. These were the names that they thought about. Like, it's all about the process. People love seeing the process. And honestly, that's why they say like sometimes it's not about the destination, sometimes it's the journey. And sometimes it's just being able to put yourself like in a position where you slowly build yourself up and start to make little progress, and you start to have more confidence in yourself, and people understand like, oh, this is why this person is the way that they are, instead of just becoming like a finished product. My favorite show, right, which a lot of people know, is Pretty Little Liars, right? If you guys have seen Pretty Little Liars season 1, like, I'm not shitting on season 1 because it was an amazing season, but if you look at season 1, they had a lot of actors that were there that didn't even make it all the way to the end of the series. A lot of the actors that were there too, like, they were just feeling into their character, especially like Shay Mitchell. Shay Mitchell, I love you. But in the beginning of Pretty Little Liars, okay, the acting, it was good, but especially whenever it came to the flashbacks and stuff like that, it's like you weren't comfortable in your character yet, and that's okay. But as the seasons progressed, like, she became more and more like Emily, and you started to notice like these actors now become their character, and like when you see them, you're like, oh, that's Arya, oh, that's Spencer, oh, that's Emily, like, you know. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be a finished product, you grow into it, and it's better for you to grow into something instead of having this perfectionistic mindset that things have to be perfect and you have to be this finished product. At the end of the day, you're a human being. You will never ever be a finished product. The only thing that you will be is just proud of however far that you've gotten. And then you be given the baton and you take it into the next lifetime and into the next lifetime and into the next lifetime. So yeah, those are things that I've literally been doing to try to overcome perfectionism. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully this helps one of you guys out. And yeah, thanks YouTube. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.